Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress. Police in Duryea say they were called to a home in the 100 block of Foote Avenue Tuesday evening for a report of a woman being held against her will. When officers arrived, they encountered a man and a woman inside. Investigators say the woman signaled to the police that she needed help. According to authorities, the man accused the woman of stealing from him and then threatened her life, confining her inside a bedroom. The next morning, police issued a community update after neighbors reported a large police presence near Foote Avenue and Phoenix Street. Officials stressed that Wednesday's activity was related to a separate case being handled by the Kingston Township Police and there was no danger to the public. According to Pennsylvania State Police, 2 inmates are facing assault charges following a 2024 attack on correctional officers. Based in the State Correctional Institution, Dallas, Joseph Benvis, age 32, and Kwame Ashanti Wright, age 42, are accused of hurting several correctional officers, one using a constructed weapon and another punching an officer in the face. Benvis allegedly started the whole assault as a result of sneaking to an upstairs officer's space, attacking said officer with his constructed weapon, according to authorities. After being convicted of an illegal relationship with a 14-year-old girl, Benvis is serving 20 years for child sex charges, such as involuntary deviant sexual intercourse with a minor and statutory sexual assault. For aggravated assault and weapons charges, Wright is serving 50 to 100 years. According to troopers, assault charges were pending against both inmates. A Luzerne County jury has found a corrections training sergeant guilty on 2 counts of indecent assault. Prosecutors say 44-year-old David Andrew Hoover of Larksville assaulted 2 female officers during incidents at the State Correctional Institution at Dallas in Jackson Township back in November of 2022. Both women testified Wednesday, describing unwanted physical contact during training sessions. Other officers told the court they would overhear Hoover making inappropriate remarks. Hoover took the stand in his own defense, denying all the allegations. After hours of deliberation Wednesday evening, the jury returned guilty verdicts on both charges. Hoover will be sentenced at a later date. A rail line between Piston and Wilkes-Barre that currently carries freight may soon see a new type of cargo: passengers. Reading and Northern Railroad will be investing $2 million to bridge their passenger railways into Wilkes-Barre. When the project is complete, the Wilkes-Barre area will have a rail connection to Jim Thorpe and Reading. The private rail line will build a new station at the Market Square complex in downtown Wilkes-Barre and provide free parking to all guests. County officials are excited by the project, as northeastern Pennsylvania has a history with passenger rail and will like to see a return to the area's former roots. The future timeline is unknown for the project, although Reading and Northern Railroad hope that development can begin when the current owners settle litigation with the county. Back in August, hundreds of car enthusiasts attended the 4th annual Partysville Cruise Night to see the best our area gearheads had to offer, while also having lots of fun. This Saturday, the 2nd annual spin-off cruise will be held at Freedom Park in Drums to benefit domestic violence awareness and prevention programs. We spoke with Committee President Ron Seaman about what people can expect to see at this year's event.
It's a smaller scale cruise from our original Partysville Cruise Night up in Partysville at the playground. It's kind of the same kind of things. We're going to have food vendors. We're going to have a couple food trucks here. We're going to have an ice cream truck here. And we're going to do a 50-50 raffle, and we'll have a DJ entertainment here, Untouchable DJ, George Fisher. We're going to have some tricky trays. We didn't plan on that, but we actually had people reaching out to us about tricky trays if they could donate some.
And moving the cruise to Freedom Park will allow more cars to be in the show.
One thing that we hope is not smaller scale is the cars. We want to see lots of cars here. We'll have dash plaques for the first 75 cars that drive up the day of. We're also going to have a custom homemade trophy by our very own Gary Wilson of Freeland. That'll be for the Best of Show winner. We could probably put about 1,500 cars in here, so plenty of room. That is not a concern whatsoever here. I love the layout here. We got a nice little pavilion here. We got running water bathrooms. We have a beautiful little playground behind me here for the little ones. I love the view down here, beautiful mountains and view, and we're just hoping for good weather and a good turnout to support domestic violence in memory of Tony Lynn Wilkinson from Freeland. She was just a great person. Everybody loved Tony Lynn, and unfortunately, she had a bad situation on the home front, and she passed away due to domestic violence. And this is a way to honor Tony Lynn and keep her memory alive by doing this and raising some money for awareness and prevention for others that hopefully will turn out in a better situation than hers did. There's a lot of possibility here. This has a lot of potential here. And again, I can't thank the Butler Township supervisors enough for helping us with this and supporting our plan here. And again, hopefully it's just a great turnout and a great event for the community and for domestic violence awareness prevention programs, obviously. And I'm sure Tony Lynn will be smiling down.
The second annual Partysville Spin-Off Cruise will be held from 11 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. this Saturday at Freedom Park in Drums. A rain date is set for Sunday. For more information, you can visit the Partysville Cruise Night Facebook group. Coming up on WYLN News, the Wilkes-Barre police are searching for a missing teen. Plus, we'll tell you about more fun events happening in our area this weekend. We'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
WYLN News brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazelton's emergency room team. Your experts in any emergency. When emergencies happen, minutes and expertise count. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazelton is now part of Jefferson Health.
My name is Alexander Bonomo. I'm 12 years old, and tomorrow's WYLN forecast is partly cloudy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
For a better customer experience, visit Fairway Subaru in Hazelton. Fairway Subaru has been providing generations of customers with Subarus. With exceptional customer service they've come to expect. Check out our selection in person or at fairwaysubaru.com. Fairway Subaru, the right car, the right price, the right dealer.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Welcome back to WYLN News. A teen has been reported missing from the Wilkes-Barre area, and police are seeking the public's help for information regarding his location. Zaire Downs is a 16-year-old male, has black hair and brown eyes, he is 6 foot 1 inches tall, and weighs 130 pounds. Anyone that knows the location of this person is asked to contact Detective Stash at 570-208-0911 or call 911. The Wilkes-Barre City Health Department is offering free flu vaccine clinics to its residents. The free flu vaccine clinic will provide 2 types of vaccines, one for ages 6 months and older and another for ages 65 and older. It will be held this Friday from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Kirby Health Center drive-thru in 71 North Franklin Street. The health department's Be Healthy bus will be on site to provide free blood pressure and blood sugar screenings at the clinics on October 2nd, 9th, 18th, and 20th. The clinic is for Wilkes-Barre City residents and proof of residency is required. For more information and upcoming dates, contact the Wilkes-Barre City Health Department at 570-208-4283 or visit www.wilkesbarre.city/flu vaccine clinics. A vendor at the Bloomsburg Fair has died after collapsing while working at his food stand earlier this week. 69-year-old John Barnhart fell ill Monday while preparing food at Irene's Caboose. Shortly after, the stand closed, but fellow vendors quickly stepped in, storing the frozen food so it wouldn't go to waste. The stand will remain closed Thursday and Friday for services, but plans to reopen Saturday, the final day of the fair. A GoFundMe page launched to help with funeral costs has already raised thousands of dollars. You can donate at www.gofundme.com/f/John-Ed. 2 free events are happening this weekend in Hazleton. On September 27th, there is a First Responder Appreciation event by Can Do Inc. This event is to support and appreciate our first responders in our community, including police officers, firefighters, and other emergency personnel. There will be free hamburgers and hot dogs for everyone. This is a free family-friendly event that will take place at Can Do Community Park from 11 o'clock a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. The second event is the 4th annual celebration of Mexican Independence Festival and the 7th annual Latino Zumbathon. This event is to celebrate the Mexican independence and culture with many businesses around the area joining the celebration. There will be food, games, live boxing, music, and more. This is a free entry event, so everyone is invited. It will be this Sunday, September 28th from 10 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. at City View Park in Hazleton. Coming up on Drums' News Choice, we continue last week's interview with paranormal author Maxim Furyk. Plus, we join WYLN historian Chris Fulmer on the path through history with Part 4 of Watsontown. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
When you bundle home and auto, life can be easier. You choose coverage that makes sense for you, at a price that's right for you, and a local State Farm agent who's there for you.
Call State Farm agent Pete Casalicka in the greater Hazleton area today.
And if you haven't seen it, you have to go see The Pope's Exorcist starring Cameron Crowe, which was awesome, and very valid, very authentic. But Father Amorth talked about the 2%. I have a chapter in my book called The 2%. And with people that allege to be possessed by demonic spirits, the church has to determine whether or not these people are actually possessed or if they're mentally ill. 98% of the people are actually schizophrenic or they have Tourette's Tourette's syndrome. Thank you. Right. Easy for you to say. Oh my God! Shoot me. Give me the hook. And with Father Amorth, he said that he only is concerned about the 2%. Those are the legitimate 2% that are possessed by demonic spirits. Those are the ones that he's concerned with. And I talk about Father Amorth. I talk about Pope John Paul II, who after 400 years, he rewrote the rite of exorcism. He updated it. And not only that, but he had a college of exorcism. He had 132 priests from over 30 countries who came to learn the medieval rite of exorcism, only because Pope John Paul II believed that evil exists. And we have to go and address evil in modern days. Pope Francis said the same thing before he died. He said that evil exists today. The devil exists. The devil's greatest power is deception, to make you and I think that he does or she doesn't exist. The devil could be a she, so, you know, we'll give you women credit.
Let's just say the devil's a they, so we could just stay friendly together. Let's not offend anyone here.
And Michelle, I know that, you know, we had this conversation before, but, you know, I just, you know, want you and everybody else to know that I'm not some kind of crazy zealot, you know, true believer. I am more of a seeker, a searcher. I'm looking for the truth. And this is what human beings do. You know, we have that God-given cognition and spirituality and the curiosity to look for the truth. And that's what I think I'm doing, not you know.
No, and I agree with that. You've had some prior books, and they're very well researched. It's not just a viewpoint, it's an educational look at something. That you're looking at both sides, you're digging deeper for information, and that's one of the joys of your books.
Yeah, thank you. And one of the joys of my being a book writer is being, I think, a representative or an ambassador of Northeastern Pennsylvania. And even with my prior book, Co-Region Hoodoo, I talked about the Co-Region Hoodoo. I talked about our paranormal stuff. And the reason I did that, and you're probably familiar with this, but so many books about the Pennsylvania supernatural are written about Gettysburg ghosts and Lancaster white witches and hex signs, and we are like ignored, blatantly ignored. And that really got me angry, and so that's why I wrote Co-Region Hoodoo, to talk about our paranormal things, including the Schmerl haunting and Centralia and Shepton and all the rest. Now, we have a whole lot of things here in our backyard that I'll tell you what, in the area, I don't know if you have any any flying saucer people on your show from time to time.
We just have nothing in that term of scientific ways, but we do have a show called Solo Spaceman. I don't watch it much because I'm working, but aside from that, nothing really on that I can think of.
Well, the reason I say that is that Northeastern Pennsylvania is rich in individuals who have helped create that UFO or the tapestry of ufology. Two examples. Richard Sharp Shaver, born in Berwick, Pennsylvania, my hometown, in 1907. He was investigated by the FBI for conjuring the UFO, the flying saucer hysteria of the 40s, a guy from Berwick. Another guy from Duryea, Albert Bender, was the one who put together that Men in Black narrative. And the way that works is, don't forget about the motion pictures that you've seen, but this is when individuals, normal citizens, see flying saucers. The way the story goes is that government agents, these men in black, will show up, and they're always wearing the skinny ties like that and the nice jacket like that. They look like you, but they wear fedoras and sunglasses. And they investigate and stalk these people because they're not supposed to know this. So Albert Bender from Duryea, Pennsylvania, was the one who gave us that. So Bender and Shaver, local boys. And, you know, and I delight in telling the world about them because nobody knows about them, you know. But, you know, I like to talk about the paranormal and all that. So did you want to hold Annabelle? Did you?
Sure. Yeah.
And this is not the real one. So, you know, I hope the camera got a good shot of you there.
Yes,
okay,
I'm
good.
pretty sure it's looking at me just fine. I'm good. Okay. All right.
Now, I understand you're never going to have me on your show again. Is that true?
I don't know. This was a very fun time, honestly.
But this is serious stuff. This isn't funny stuff. You know that?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yes, I will keep a straight face. The whole thing.
Okay. Well, very good. Okay, so again, Michelle, can you tell us again when this extravaganza is going to be?
Sure. We're having Max here with his book to talk about his book, to do some book signing. He'll have books for sale that day. It is Saturday, September 27th in our community room. We are asking you to call and make a reservation if you'd like to attend. You know, call the library, reach out to us, even through Facebook or social media, and sign up for it so we know you're coming, and we'll be ready.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah.
And will WYLN be providing any veggies or a veggie tray and any of that?
Veggie tray, is that even a thing?
Probably not, right?
We are a news station, not a farmer's market.
Your producer's giving me the evil eye. Look at that. Huh? Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to the people of Hazleton and Northeastern Pennsylvania. I'm just, you know, really honored to write about the paranormal, and again, to write about it as an academic or as a student. You know, so that's what I do. And if you're interested in any of these topics, please take a look at the Schmerl-Haning.
I know our library has the other book by Ed and Lorraine. We just bought new copies of it because our other ones were so worn.
Yeah,
it is,
sure, yeah.
It's just a curious topic for people.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I think people are fascinated by this, whether they believe or not. And there's a lot of discussion about conjuring last rites and how authentic it is. Forget about that. This is entertainment. If you want to go to be entertained and be scared, go see Conjuring Last Rites. But if you want to be educated and if you want to get the compare and contrast, read the Schmerl-Haning. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Well, sounds good. I'm glad you came here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So.
Well, with that said, I'm glad we had a good talk today, and I hope you enjoyed Community and You. See you next time.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
My name is Alexander Bonomo. I'm 12 years old, and tomorrow's WYLN forecast is partly cloudy.
Ever since Watsontown's founding, there had not been a formal bridge across the Susquehanna to White Deer, with the ferry carrying all traffic across the river. Efforts were made to gain charters for a bridge in 1832 and 1854, but they were not followed through on, and thus Governor John Geary refused a third attempted charter in 1867. The issue of a bridge was a contentious one in the Watsontown area as it was, with many opponents of the idea certain the cost would be extremely high, and thus the county and towns would be paying it off for decades. Even some of those that did want a bridge over the Susquehanna thought White Deer and Watsontown were too insignificant to spend a span on, arguing instead that it should be built near Sunbury. A push for a bridge in Watsontown got a new boost in 1909 when William C. Brimmer was elected mayor. He pushed hard for a bridge, fighting numerous court battles over the years with Northumberland County commissioners, who counter-argued they go broke building one. Finally, in May 1927, construction of a bridge between Watsontown and White Deer was authorized by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court through a court order. Construction of the span, which was built by contractor George Rockwell with a projected budget of just over $300,000, began July 12, 1927. Legal haggling, though, continued during construction, with Northumberland and Union counties arguing over who would pay for the bridge's lighting system. The bridge opened to traffic on the 4th of July, 1928, with Watsontown throwing a grand opening ceremony featuring a parade and a baseball game. Despite the pomp and circumstances, however, the bridge was still essentially non-functional at the time of its opening, as the approach road on the White Deer side was insufficient for automobile traffic. Thus, the bridge would stand largely idle for the next 2 years as an almost literal white elephant, allowing its opponents to burn it mercilessly in the press. It would be March 1930 when a proper roadway would be built to the bridge's west side, making it a fully functional span. Today, all the rancor of the past has been essentially forgotten, and the bridge is now a landmark in Watsontown. It was officially named the Nurse Helen Fairchild Bridge on Memorial Day 2003, in honor of a World War I nurse from nearby Allenwood who had died in January 1918 from complications of surgery for a gastric ulcer. With the closure of the Watsontown Door and Sash Company in 1935, John Wilson, who had been superintendent of the company at the time it shut down, was left out of work. 63 years old at the time, Wilson knew he needed some form of employment to get him through. He began by making dollhouses, running what he chartered as the Wilson Novelty Company out of a garage on 8th Street. In 1936, he made a breakthrough, filing a patent for a new toy, the legs of which would walk when it was propelled forward. Wilson, believing his idea would be a hit, purchased a former shoe factory and hired a staff. His intuition would be correct, as the Wilson Walkies, as they'd be known, were an instant hit. Soon, nearly 100 workers were cracking over 10,000 walkies a day. Soldiers, penguins, and clowns were among the more popular designs for the toys. John Wilson died in 1948, but the factory continued in operation for a year afterwards before production ceased. Today, Wilson Walkies are popular collectibles in the flea market circuits. With the rise of motion pictures in the 20th century, numerous movie houses would spring up in Watsontown over the years. The first opened in 1912 as the Gem Theater on Main Street. It was modernized in 1918, expanding its capacity to 525 seats. Its name changed several times over the years, to the Carlton Theater and then the People's Theater before it was hit hard by the 1929 stock market crash. It reopened as the Lyceum Theater in 1930, but burned down in November 1934. A more lasting replacement would be the Watson Theater, which opened on May 30th, 1940, with space for 500 guests. The Watson Theater included amongst amenities the Watson Dairy Lunch, a combination ice cream parlor and lunch counter. It hosted moviegoers for close to 70 years, but towards the end of its lifespan, it had started feeling a heavy squeeze from mall cinemas. The Watson Theater closed in September 2009. 10 years later, it reopened as the Watson Theater Eatery and continues in this capacity today. By 1956, Watsontown High School had become heavily overcrowded. The high school building, built in 1933, had capacity for roughly 160 students. With Watsontown High School joining with high schools in McEwensville, Gregg Township, White Deer Township, and Delaware Township in 1949 to create the West Branch Joint School District, though, space became a premium, with enrollment having reached 525 students. Things reached the point where the school district ran out spaces in adjoining buildings for certain classes, and some classes had to be sent to schools in Dewart and Allenwood. To make matters worse, on January 24, 1956, the 8th Street School caught on fire just after recess had ended. The blaze began in the boys' bathroom and was quickly noticed by custodian Ellery Ray, who immediately pulled the school's fire alarm. Fortunately, all the students inside were able to get out uninjured, although they had been forced to leave their coats and school supplies behind, and these were largely incinerated in the fire. Students would be sent to Dewart for classes for the rest of the year. With these difficulties in mind, the West Branch Joint School District looked to merge with Turbotsville's Northmont School District to add more space for classes. This would culminate with the districts coming together to form the Warrior Run School District in 1956. Land for the new high school was chosen on the Patterson Farm near Turbotville, and despite strong opposition from Watsontown residents that drew Governor George Leader into the discussion, Warrior Run High School was built on the site. It continues to serve students from Watsontown today. Pennsylvania is not a state usually connected with tornadoes, and one would not connect the Susquehanna Valley much with the phenomenon. But those concerns would hit home for the Watsontown area on May 31, 1985. The day had been hot and humid, and a tornado watch had been issued, but no one thought there was much cause for concern. Late in the day, however, a major outbreak of tornadoes sprung up across the state. Several people in the Watsontown area testified afterwards that the sky turned an unearthly green before the storm began, a frequent sign that a tornado could be imminent. And one did form at approximately 9:25 p.m. in southern Lycoming County. It quickly grew to 1.5 miles wide, with winds high enough to qualify it as a terrifying EF4 tornado. It moved through Bastrop, Elamsport, Allenwood, and Dewart before jumping the Susquehanna toward Montgomery, where it just missed the crowded Pike Drive-In, and Watsontown. 6 people would be killed in the storm in the Watsontown area. The outbreak also took an additional 56 lives across the state, making the deadliest tornadic event in Pennsylvania history. In Northumberland County, it damaged almost 80 houses, 140 mobile homes, and 28 barns, with damages in excess of $12 million. Governor Nick Thornburg would declare Northumberland and Union counties a disaster area, and the National Guard would come in to help the residents clean up afterwards.
Alexander Bonomo. I'm 12 years old, and tomorrow's WYLN forecast is partly cloudy.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.